When Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac raised the conforming loan limits to $832,750, it's not just a policy shift. It's a wealth transfer moment. And people who understand it early usually come out ahead. Most people will hear new loan limits and shrug. But if you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for prices to chill or affordability to magically fix itself, this change directly affects you. Not next year, not someday, but right now. Because when the government-backed loan ceiling rises, two things tend to follow: more buying power and upward pressure on home prices. So the real question is, are you about to gain an advantage or wait long enough to watch it slip through your fingers? Let's break it down like a human, not a headline, in this special episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, episode 233, which is called, Is This Because Home Prices Are Going Even Higher? Now, before I unpack the details, I need to make the legal people happy. So, I am Kevin Martini, a certified mortgage advisor and producing branch manager, NMLS 143962, with the Martini Mortgage Group at Gold Star Mortgage Financial Group Corporation, NMLS 3446, Equal Housing Lender. This podcast is for educational purposes only and is not legal or tax advice. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about the quiet anxiety that has been sitting on your chest for months. You want to buy a home. You know renting is throwing money into a shredder. You know that home prices haven't been waiting for you to feel ready. And every time something changes in the market, mortgage rates move, inventories shift, the news flips from doom and bloom, and you wonder, am I about to miss it again? That feeling, that exhaustion, that mental tug of war's been waiting, stability, and feeling priced out. I get it. More than you know. But this new conforming loan limit matters because it changes what's possible for someone exactly in your situation. Someone who wants to make a smart move, not a rushed one. Here's the truth. Trying to buy a home in today's market feels like you're trying to jump on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. Rates went up, prices went up, competition went up, and somehow the advice didn't get any clearer. You probably said things like, I'm waiting for prices to come down, or maybe you said, I'm afraid of overpaying, and what if you had a concern about if you buy and the market dips? Or, I don't want a payment that crushes you. You're not alone. And you're not wrong to feel this way. Because buying a home isn't about timing the market. It's about making one decision. When does owning make sense for my long-term life than renting? But now, there's a new variable in the mix. The 2026 conforming loan limit increase, and it's changing the math. Give me your grace and let me unpack the big headlines about the conforming loan limit increase in real person English. Fannie and Freddie, or Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the two major engines behind most mortgages, set maximum loan amounts every year. This limit is significant because it's the highest loan amount they'll back before a home loan becomes a jumbo loan. And jumbo loans usually mean tougher guidelines, bigger down payments, higher credit requirements, and sometimes higher rates. Not exactly the recipe for easy first home, but now the new 2026 conforming limit is $832,750. Let me translate this for you. You could buy a home, maybe about $850,000 with only 3 to 5% down and still stay within the easiest, most flexible loan category that exists. That's not small, that's not random, and that's not a coincidence. Loan limits go up because home prices went up. The system is adjusting. And that brings us to the part that nobody wants to talk about. Will home prices go even higher? Look, I'll shoot from the hip on this one, and straight too. Raising the conforming loan limits doesn't cause home prices to rise, but it absolutely supports prices staying elevated. Because more people now have access to larger, easier, cheaper loans. That means more buyers equals more demand, and more demand equals less downward pressure on prices. So does this mean prices are guaranteed to rise? Absolutely not. Nothing is guaranteed. But here's what history does show. In the years following a conforming loan limit increase, prices rarely go down. They tend to either increase more slowly, flatten, or accelerate, depending on local demand. Now, your real obstacle isn't higher prices. It's not mortgage rates. It's not timing either. It's clarity. Most people freeze in the market because they don't know what numbers apply to them. They're working off of headlines instead of math. They're waiting for a sign instead of a strategy. But the moment you get clarity, what you qualify for, what your payment actually is, what your down payment needs to be, and how loan limits change impact your path, you will stop feeling like you're chasing the market. You'll start feeling like you're participating in it. And that's where the loan limit increase becomes life-changing. The upgraded lane you now have access to. Let me show you the difference this makes. Now, before the new limits, maybe you were stuck looking at homes under $700,000 because crossing into the jumbo territory made no sense. Now, you can stretch into more neighborhood, more move-in ready homes, or simply have breathing room without jumbo rules slapping your wrist. This opens up access to lower down payment, lower cash to close, lower credit thresholds, better interest rate options, faster approvals, and more competitive offers. In other words, it widens your lane. It upgrades your lane. A lane you did not have yesterday. The market didn't suddenly get easier, but your toolbox just got bigger. Most buyers hear loan limit increase and think, cool, noted. And then they keep scrolling, keep waiting, keep thinking the next big market event will change their situation. But that's not how this works. This change doesn't magically make homes cheaper. It doesn't fix affordability. What it does is remove one of the biggest friction points buyers face, being forced into a tougher loan category when they don't need to be. That's the opportunity window, not cheap homes, not perfect timing, reduction, friction. People who understand this get ahead. People who don't get left behind. Imagine this for a hot second. You stop watching prices climb from the outside. You're not waiting around for rates to magically drop. You're not refreshing Zillow just to see homes you love slip out of your budget. Instead, you're locking in a home that aligns with your life. You're building equity, not hypothetically, but in real numbers. You're stabilizing your monthly housing costs, and you're finally moving from, I hope this works out, to, I'm doing it strategically. That feeling, that confidence, that forward motion, that is what loan limit increase makes possible. Not because it's lower prices, but because it removes barriers that never needed to be there in the first place. And here's what I'm offering you today: clarity. The kind that cuts through the noise and tells you exactly where you stand, without pressure, without jargon, without surprises. If you want to understand what the new conforming loan limits mean specifically for you, if you want to know what your buying power looks like under the new updated 2026 rules, if you want to know what neighborhood your budget now reaches, if you want to know what your payment actually would be, and if you want to understand and know how to structure a strategy that fits into your long-term life, then I invite you to call me personally. Again, my name is Kevin Martini, and I'm not just a mortgage loan officer, but a certified mortgage advisor that takes a fiduciary approach. And that means your best interest is my only interest. And right now, your best interest is served by securing the clarity you deserve. Because owning a home isn't about buying a house. It's about taking control of a future you've been renting from somebody else. And the new conforming loan limits, it just made that future easier. If you want, I'll walk you through your numbers, your options, and your strategy step by step. No pressure, just clarity, because clarity leads to confidence, and confidence leads to keys. Let's get you closer to home. And to do that, just give me a call by dialing 919-238-4934. I'm Kevin Martini with the Martini Mortgage Group, and thank you for joining. Now listen, if this episode brought you value, please share it, subscribe, and let's stay connected. I'm looking forward to talk with you and providing clarity to help you get closer to becoming a homeowner.